What's up, everybody? Dwayne Bryant here with another MLB trend report. This one for Monday, July 3rd, and we are going to get right into it with six big trends today. And as always, a disclaimer to start, please do not ever make a bet based on any single trend, angle, or piece of information. Simply use this as one piece of the handicapping puzzle and make sure you have multiple edges before you make an actual bet. This first trend that I'm going to do now is a viewer request. Arthur wanted me to check out Miles Michaelis on the road against a National League opponent with the total set at 8 or 8.5. So Miles Michaelis on the road against a National League opponent with the total at either 8 or 8.5. And you can see there's nothing real earth shattering here. And it's actually a good thing because, I bring up these trends on the show here, and they're always, 8-0, 7-0, great ROIs. But when you're actually researching these games, a lot of the trends that you come up with, they're pretty well, humdrum. They're not really pointing you in either direction. There's no great, amazing result like you see on the show here. What I did do though is I did go a little bit deeper here. I did list him as a road underdog when the line is less than plus 125. And here you can see there's an over under trend, 5 overs, 1 under. And again, the margin is important to me as well. And these games have gone over by more than 3 runs per game. So that's important. So Miles Michaelis is a road underdog against National League opponents with the total at 8 or 8.5, and he's a dog of no more than or less than plus 125. A nice 5-1 over under trend with a nice margin there. Let's move on to trend number 2. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. For trend number 2, we are going to look at just this season. We are going to look at the Cleveland Guardians. And we're going to look at the Guardians when they've won at least their last 2 games. So streak is greater than or equal to 2. We'll hit the STQL button. And you'll see a nice over-under trend here. 13 overs, only 2 unders, 1 push. The margin, again, is an excellent margin. These games have gone over by more than 3.5 runs per game. And you can see that it is active today. The Guardians at home against the Atlanta Braves. So let's roll right on into trend number 3. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up to like this video. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to stick with just this season. We're going to do another team trend here. And we're going to do the Houston Astros when they play on a Monday. So just simply the Astros this season, when they play on a Monday, we click the STQL button. And you can see that these Astros are a perfect 11-0 to the over. And again, another great margin. These games have gone over by almost 3.5 runs per game. You can see it's active today. The Astros playing in Texas this afternoon against the Rangers. Now, I picked this trend on purpose because this is actually a trend that I do not like. I don't like trends that mention a specific day of the week in Major League Baseball. To me, this is just more of a coincidence than anything else. I mean, the margin is impressive. So, I mean, maybe there's some weight to this and I'm just not seeing it. But me personally, I use the SDQL database a lot and I use it. I run, probably a couple hundred queries every day, but I don't like every trend that I see. And I see guys that post trends on social media. I have a subscription to the StatFox sheets where I get a lot of ideas for trends, and I'll cross reference their results with the SDQL database to see what I get there. But not every trend that I see listed there either is a trend that I like. And this is one of those trends that I do not like. Let's move on to trend number 4. And guys, if you haven't already, click that bell to get notified whenever I post a video or go live on this channel. We're going to stick to just this season. We're going to go team specific again. We're going to look this time at the Angels. And we're going to look at the Angels when they have lost 4 of their last 5 games. So I don't know that I've done this parameter before. So this is probably one, if you watch this show, every day when I put it out there, this is probably one you haven't seen before. The lowercase t is team, the capital S is sum. Now, what we put in parentheses is what we want the sum of, and that's the capital L is for losses. So we want the sum of the losses. And then we put a comma and we put a capital N equals 5 because we're just referring to the sum of losses in the last 5 games. And we are looking for the Angels when the sum of their losses in their last 5 games is equal to 4. So they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. You could also make this, when they've lost 4 or less of their last 5 games. But for this instance, we're going to use just the Angels when they have lost 4 of their last 5 games. And we're going to hit the SDQL button here. And you'll see that the Angels are a perfect 8-0 this season. Now, this is impressive because their average line is basically even money. And even though the line was basically even money, they won these 8 games by 5.25 runs per game. So they are obliterating teams in this spot. So you've got a solid 100.5% ROI here. You can see that this was actually active yesterday when they beat the Diamondbacks, and it is active again today as the Angels are on the road in San Diego against the Padres. So let's move right on into trend number 5. And guys, if you have any questions or comments, any trends that you have that you found, post them in the comments. Have any questions on things you'd like me to research in the database, put it in the comments. If you have any suggestions on the show, things you like, things you don't like, things you'd like to see, put it all in the comments, guys. I would love to hear from you. So now we're going to get pitcher specific. And we are going to go back to last season. And we are going to look at Joe Ryan. We're going to look at Joe Ryan when he's facing an American League opponent. And we're going to look at him when that American League opponent averages no more than or less than or equal to 4.4 runs per game. And we're going to look at these games in just the second half of the season. So with an MLB season being 162 games, if you put the parameter in there, game number greater than 81, that will return results from just the second half of the season. Now, there is another way. It's not the exact same thing, but there's also capital AASB, which is after the All-Star break. Now, as you know, most teams have played more than half of their games, slightly more than half of their games before the All-Star break. So this is a slightly different parameter. And then you have BASB before the All-Star break. So that is slightly different from what we're doing here. Here we are looking at the second half of the season. So we're going back to last season with Joe Ryan against American League opponents that are averaging no more than 4.4 runs per game, and we're just looking at results from the second half of the season. And you can see that Joe Ryan, despite actually the run line is the way you want to go here. Perfect 8-0. So he is 7-1 straight up. But that's a juicy 7-1. The average line is minus 158. So it's still a good 47.4% ROI. But take him on the run line. Perfect 8-0. Average line is about plus 104 on the run line. So your ROI is 103.3%. And you can see that is active today with Joe Ryan and the Twins at home against the Royals. Now, I almost played this game, but I haven't yet because I did notice that in his career, Joe Ryan does not pitch well in July. I don't know if it's the heat and humidity or what the deal is. Also, the Twins do not hit left-handed pitching well, and I don't believe they have seen Austin Cox yet. This will be the first time. And the Royals are coming off surprising 2 out of 3, I believe, wins over the Dodgers. So that kind of kept me off of them today. Let's wrap this up with trend number 6. And guys, if you're so inclined, you can get my MLB best bet for today at dbbets.com. It is backed by several of these situational angles that have combined to go 27-6 for 82% winners. I do include those trends in the write-up. You can get that play for just $9 today. It's regular $25. You can get it today for just $9 at dbbets.com. So let's wrap this up with the most impressive win-loss record of any trend on today's show. And for this, we are going to go back to August of 2018. And this is a league-wide trend. This isn't a pitcher-specific or a team-specific trend. This is MLB-wide. And we're going to look at teams that are in the first game of a series, capital FGS is first game series. We're going to look at this being an interleague series. So when you put the exclamation point before the equal sign, that makes it mean not equal. So league does not equal opponent's league. So it is an interleague game. Our team is a road favorite. They're coming off a 3-game series. Previous series games was 3. And that series was against a divisional opponent. And with streak greater than or equal to 3, we're basically saying that our road favorite swept all 3 games against that division opponent. Now they're in the first game of a series as a road favorite against an interleague opponent. So now you might think, well, if they just swept the division opponent, now they're playing an interleague opponent. They're probably going to suffer a letdown here. So this might be a good time to take the home dog. Well, let's hit the SDQL button and see. You would be wrong. These road favorites that are playing an interleague series or game 1 of an interleague series that are coming off a 3-game sweep of a division rival are actually a perfect 14-0, winning by over 4.5 runs per game. And that is active on the Atlanta Braves today as they visit the Cleveland Guardians. And that, guys, is going to do it for today's show. As always, I thank you for tuning in. And again, if you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, please drop them in the comments section below. And as always, best of luck on all of your wagers today.